Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to absolutely transform how you handle those tricky social spending pressures. We're diving deep into a massive, culture-shifting financial movement that's basically rewiring how we all talk about our wallets, our friendships, and honestly, our futures. Let's get right into it. So, question for you. Have you ever gone into debt, literally just to avoid looking cheap? Look, we've all been there, right? You get a text for a group dinner you really can't afford, or maybe you find yourself silently swiping your credit card for some outrageously priced, like $185 concert ticket just to keep up appearances. It's this agonizing, super universal pain point. We sacrifice our own financial stability simply because we're terrified of looking uncool to our friends. But what if saying no wasn't something you had to hide anymore? Okay, so moving into our first section here, the end of money shame. Let's map this out. This brings us to the core concept, loud budgeting. This whole trend actually blew up recently when a TikToker famously turned down a dinner invite by just straight up announcing he only had $7 a day to live on. And wow, that raw honesty kind of sparked a revolution. Loud budgeting is this deliberate, unapologetic choice to openly communicate your financial boundaries without a single ounce of guilt. It's about taking that fake, tired excuse of, oh, I'm just so busy, and swapping it out for the super empowering truth of, hey, that's just not in my budget right now. To really grasp why this is such a game changer, we got to look at the numbers. Research shows that a staggering 70% of Americans are currently wrestling with deep financial anxiety. But here's the real kicker. 76% of them feel completely and utterly isolated in that struggle. They genuinely think they're the only ones falling behind. And because of that, their silence becomes this incredibly expensive form of shame. They literally spend money just to mask the anxiety. Which leads us to section 2, quiet versus loud budgeting. Let's look at this paradigm shift. Just notice the totally stark contrast between the old way and the new way here. Quiet budgeting, it was lonely. It was completely shame-based. You hid your struggles in some private spreadsheet, and honestly, it had a massively high failure rate. Loud budgeting, on the flip side, is all about open goals and community support. You aren't just cutting your expenses, you're actively building a support system, celebrating your limits instead of hiding them. And this chart brilliantly illustrates exactly why lone spreadsheets fail so often. Look at these 12-month goal completion rates. When you rely solely on a solo budgeting app, the success rate is a pretty dismal 15%. Bring a partner into the mix, and it jumps up to 45%. But check this out. When you add the social accountability of a loud budgeting group, the success rate skyrockets to an incredible 72%. Community support literally rewires your chances of succeeding. And hey, this isn't just some nice theory. It yields real, tangible rewards. The data shows that Gen Zers who actively practice loud budgeting are saving an average of $629 every single month. I mean, that is life-changing money. Money that used to be totally lost to the subtle, silent drain of lifestyle creep and peer pressure. Moving right along, Section 3, the psychology of accountability. Let's see why this works so well. Financial coach Greg Downs really hits the nail on the head here. He says secrecy is where dysfunction lives. Money shame thrives in the dark. Daylight kills it. It's so true. When you keep your budget hidden, failing to meet your goals only really affects you. And let's be honest, human beings are notoriously good at forgiving themselves for slipping up. Secrecy drives bad financial choices, but inviting your friends into your financial reality, that's the ultimate cure. So the crucial takeaway here is that by sharing your goals, you're actually creating what behavioral experts call a witness pool. When you tell a trusted group of people that, say, you're saving for a down payment, you mentally reframe all your decisions. Suddenly turning down a pricey dinner isn't this sad deprivation anymore. It becomes a proud, public yes to a much bigger life priority, and one that your friends are now actively rooting for. And psychological research backs this up entirely. People who announce their goals publicly have a massive 65% better chance of actually achieving them, compared to those who keep them private at 35%. Sheer willpower alone is rarely enough to get us across the finish line. But social accountability, that is a powerhouse engine for changing human behavior. Okay, let's get practical. Section 4, scripts for saying no. Let's transition from theory into a real-world toolkit. Here's your first tool, the budget redirect. You just say, that sounds great, but it's out of my budget right now. Want to do this cheaper alternative instead? This script works like a charm because it perfectly says yes to the friendship and the connection, but it firmly says no to that heavy price tag. Now, sometimes you don't even need to offer an alternative. You just need to shut the door politely. Enter the simple decline. I'm not able to make that work right now, but thanks for thinking of me. Notice how clear, polite, and totally final this is? It offers zero room for negotiation, which is perfect for when friends invite you to, a destination wedding or some luxury spa day that's just flat out impossible for your wallet. And then we've got the boundary setter. This one is absolutely fantastic for family or your close, long-term friends. You tell them, I'm scaling back spending this year, so I'm sitting this one out. But I'd love to, and then you toss in your alternative. You pull out this script to set a firm boundary against things like super expensive holiday gift exchanges. It establishes your limits beautifully without ever making them feel like you're attacking their personal spending choices. So to put this into practice in real time, just follow this simple 4-step mental process. 1. Pick your script in advance. 2. Say it calmly. 3, and this is huge, do not over-explain or apologize a million times. And 4, swiftly change the subject. Just remember, that little pang of awkward discomfort you might feel literally lasts for maybe 10 seconds, but the financial peace of mind, that's going to last you all month.
Let's wrap up with Section 5, building your loud community.
Now that you know exactly what to say, here's the best part. Declining an expensive dinner absolutely does not mean ending the friendship. You can actually take control and be the friend who suggests the plans. You can totally shift the culture of your friend group by throwing out budget-friendly alternatives. Suggest grabbing coffee or hosting a potluck where everyone chips in. Go for a day hike, have an at-home movie night, or even volunteer together. There are so many fun options. A quick warning as you build up this community, though, loud budgeting should never, ever turn it into a toxic competition. As you can see here, a healthy group celebrates wins and focuses on progress. A toxic group, they turn budgeting into weird income competitions or judgment zones where people get shamed for slipping up. Remember, this whole movement is about building psychological safety, not gatekeeping wealth or acting superior. To wrap up the core message of this explainer today, you can't afford everything. Choose what matters. We really need to stop treating our budgets like some embarrassing character flaw we have to hide. Your budget is just a tool. It's there to help you hit your priorities. Saying no to a $60 brunch isn't about being broke, it's about making room to say yes to the life you actually want to build. Which brings us to our final thought. The power here is completely in your hands. And listen, your true friends are going to respect your boundaries. So, I want to leave you with this question to chew on as you go about your week. What will you proudly say no to today? Challenge yourself. Take action, send that text, step confidently into your own loud budgeting journey, and just watch how it transforms your life. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.